Join me today to make eggshell powder. The reason why I'm making it is to supplement calcium in my diet because I don't get a lot of calcium otherwise on a carnivore diet without much dairy. Hi, I'm Jen. If you're new here, I am delighted to meet you. If you're not new, welcome back. I am Jen. Like I said, I'm a doctor of physical therapy and I've experienced radical healing on a carnivore diet. Over the course of a year and a half or so that I've been carnivore, I've been trying to figure out all the tips and tricks to make things as easy as possible for me, but also get the maximum amount of nutrition. And so this is a new hack that I'm incorporating to increase my calcium intake. What I have here is several dozen eggshells from eggs that I've eaten over the last month or so. I've just put them in a Ziploc bag and kept them in the freezer until I'm ready to use them. Today, I'll take you step by step through my exact methods for what I do to prepare them and make them into powder, and then how I use them. I like to boil the shells first just to make sure they're completely clean, there's no bacteria or anything like that. So just throw them into a pot and cover them with water. Bring them to a boil, and once they're boiling, you can just let them sit for about 10 more minutes in the boiling water. Strain off all the water. Then place the shells on a cookie sheet. Just make sure that the shells are not stacked on top of one another or they won't dry all the way. And if they remain wet, you won't be able to grind them down into the fine powder that we're after. Place them in a 200-degree oven for about 10 minutes to dry, and then let them cool and remain drying if there's any moisture left. Quick shopping break at Walmart to purchase a new blender, which I will explain here in just a second. I just made a quick pit stop to Walmart to get this inexpensive blender. It was like $30. And the reason why is that for this next step, we're going to pulverize these eggs into a fine dust, basically. And I wanted to do it in something glass. I don't have a blender anymore with glass. I have a couple things that could work. I have a NutriBullet and I have a food processor, but both of those have a plastic container, and I'm just afraid that those egg shards are gonna just put tiny nicks in the plastic and basically get plastic in my egg powder, which I don't want. Now here's a fun fact. I used to have a Vitamix, those $300 really fancy blenders, and that would have worked perfectly. It had a glass container, I think. Now I'm questioning if it was plastic, but let's just assume it was glass. Well, my last long-term boyfriend, he made smoothies all the time, and I didn't. I never made smoothies. I'd already become carnivore. And so when we broke up, I let him keep my blender, which, you know, $300, whatever. He's a good guy. He deserves it. What I got from the breakup was this sweatshirt that you guys comment on about all the time, saying, hey, I'm from North Dakota too. Well, I'm not from North Dakota, but I love this sweatshirt. It is my favorite sweatshirt of all time, and he gave it to me when we broke up because he knew I loved it so much. So frankly, I feel like I got the better end of the deal. I filled the blender with shells and then pulsed them for several minutes until they were finely ground. You know what this blender did not come with is that little plastic pusher downer thing that you can stick in this hole to push the food down. So I just have to take it out and shake it from time to time. So I don't know, do you think I should get a hold of my ex-boyfriend and see if I can get my blender back? Once it's just a fine powder, pour it into a jar or whatever else you plan to store it in. This is what it looks like in the jar. You can see some of it looks a little bit like big chunks, but it's not. Those bigger chunks are just the membrane. You see how fine it is? It's like chalk. I sprinkle a little bit of it over my food, stir it around, and then eat it just like normal. You can also put it on your dog's food. If your dog is anything like mine, they'll love it. You guys, I honestly can't really tell that the texture is any different than just with salt. So don't be afraid of that. It doesn't make it like granular-y or anything like that. If you found this helpful, let me know by liking and subscribing. And if you want, catch me on Instagram where we can connect every single day.